Hi, my name's Deanna Hope, and welcome back to Spooky Spotlight, the show where I shine a light on horror films that you may or may not have heard of. Wolf Creek is a 2005 Australian horror film directed by Greg McLean. This film focuses on a group of backpackers who end up getting stranded due to their car breaking down. A stranger appears to help them but ends up torturing them instead. Wolf Creek came out at the height of the torture porn era, which is why it received so much backlash for its violent nature. However, in my opinion, this film focuses more on the psychological torture rather than the physical. The stranger who picks them up's name is Mick, played by John Jarrett. He picks up these three hitchhikers and ends up torturing them physically and mentally once he earns their trust. From there, we jump into the perspective of Liz, played by Cassandra McGrath. She wakes up to find one of her friends missing and the other being physically and sexually assaulted by Mick. Now, this scene really carried the reputation that this film has, due to the fact that by the time Liz reaches Christy, played by Kesty Marassi, she is already bloody and hurt, leaving up for question what he had done to her off screen, showing us, or not showing us, that the character's emotional response holds more weight than the graphic things that had happened to them. The realness of this film is the scariest part. Mick, our villain, is honestly just a normal guy with serial killer tendencies, but he's still a normal guy, and this scenario could really happen to anyone, giving it that true crime feel. Before these backpackers have a negative experience with Mick, he comes across almost charming to them, which makes it hard for them to question that he might want to cause them harm. Now, one of my favorite moments of this whole film is an interaction between Ben, played by Nathan Phillips, and Mick. Ben asks Mick what he does for a living.
Oh, I can tell you, but then I'll have to kill you.
Which, very creepy. This film was inspired by two real-life Australian killers, one of them being named Bradley John Murdoch, who had shot a backpacker and tried assaulting that backpacker's girlfriend, however she managed to get away, luckily. And the other is Ivan Millet, who targeted backpackers. According to the director, Mick was created using these two serial killers combined with a positive public figure, Steve Irwin. Something else that I find plays a big factor into the helplessness that the characters feel and that the audience feels is that the fact that they're deep in the outback, like completely deep in the middle of nowhere with no understanding of where they are. Also, no one really knows where these backpackers were going. They had a very structureless kind of lifestyle, kind of trip they were on, and no one's really going to know that they're missing for quite a while. Another unique thing to this film is there just is no hero, just an evil guy who sees these backpackers as nothing more than another piece of meat. This film is a nightmare situation that can happen, but no one wants to find themselves in. This film received backlash for how ordinary it is. However, sometimes the simpler the better, and in this case, the more simple, the more scary. I also love how this film starts out in the perspective of Liz, who appears to be our strong female lead. However, she gets killed fairly quickly, leaving us in the perspective of her traumatized friend, who, despite her best efforts, unfortunately ends up getting killed as well. Leaving us with Ben, who had been absent for most of the film, however, is our rare final guy instead of final girl. This film doesn't have a climax. Liz gets killed, Christy gets killed, and then finally we see Ben again. Ben frees himself and does what anyone would do in this situation. He just beelines out of there. He doesn't think about the other girls. He doesn't think about where he's going. He doesn't think about the fact that he's in the middle of nowhere and dehydration is real. He's just full fight or flight mode and gets out of there. He ends up in the middle of nowhere and collapsing due to dehydration. However, is lucky because some strangers find him and rescue him, and he ends up testifying as a suspect, however, is acquitted. Now, the ending is so eerie because of how unresolved it is. Ben survives, the girls are never found, and Mick just disappears into thin air, leading to a sequel. But I just love that ending. There's no climax. It's just a normal ending, just a blip in time, as you would say. Anyways, that's it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below if you have seen this film or plan on watching it. And let me know what you think of it. Have a great day, guys.